Today on Animal Outtakes,
it was a miracle that she was found by the police officers and brought here.
We're talking about true animal survivors.
He was brought into the clinic where I was working to be euthanized because he didn't have back legs.
From dogs and cats to pigs and chimpanzees, these animals have overcome the odds to live healthy, happy lives. Hello and welcome to Animal Outtakes. I'm Marsha Panuce. Today we're being inspired by some true survivors. These animals have persevered through health issues and bad situations and made it through to a positive outcome. We have lots to show you, so let's get started.
Axe, you're free. Oh, the free boy. Good boy. Good boy.
When you see Tricia Antonelli interact with her dog Axel, it's hard to believe this gentle pit bull mix was ever anything other than a lover.
Well, the story is that he was trained to be a fighting dog or was in a fight, maybe had lost or whatever the circumstances were. He did not win. So they,
Perhaps he was too sweet.
Maybe, but the story is that he was hit in the head with a hatchet and then pretty much just left to die.
In November 2012, a Manatee County Animal Control officer found Axel with a massive gash on his head.
He found Axel underneath a truck. Axel came out wagging his tail. Nothing seemed to be, he didn't think anything was wrong, but of course he was cut open and bleeding profusely.
Amazingly, the axe hit Axel's sinus cavity, narrowly missing his brain. 40 stitches later, he was on the road to recovery, medically speaking. It is believed that Axel was used for illegal dogfighting, and Tricia says the scars from his previous battles are still visible.
Axel has a lot of them. There's some behind the ears. There's puncture wounds in the ears. The ears are the easiest thing to grab and they flop. So dogs always come up to the side and they usually catch the ear. The ear's the first thing to get ripped.
Fighting scars on the face, front and hind legs and thighs are also signs of dogfighting. It was obvious that he was used as a bait dog. And as in so many of these cases, they are just entirely too sweet. This is not their nature to be fighters. Now, if this was an extremely aggressive dog, there's no way, first of all, he'd be standing next to me, and there would be no way that he would allow me to kiss him. What type of behavioral problems, if any, when you got Axel, did you see?
Axel basically reacted without thinking. He went from 0 to 1,000 miles per hour very quickly. It was like within milliseconds. So if you did not get that energy suffocated in a sense, it would escalate, and then he always went into attack mode. He was a very confused dog. He actually didn't even have the personality he has now. He was just in a shell. He wasn't allowed to be himself, but only the aggressive Axel.
At Manatee County Animal Services, they see dogs like Axel come in on a daily basis. Tricia volunteers with the animal shelter and introduces us to Biscuit, a mixed breed with some scars of his own. So we can see horrible scars here.
Yes, very.
Very, very bad. Deep, very deep scars.
And if you
right
notice,
here.
they're in the same spots as where Axel's was. You see right here? It's a shame because he's not even that old. And you can tell that they're used as machines, because I mean, you can see their teeth are bad. A lot of times they have skin problems, stress sores. This even sometimes happens because they come from a stressful situation and then get put into another stressful situation.
We know, as best as we can, that Axel was a fight dog somewhere along the line.
Yes.
Okay. And now, take a look at Mr. Love over here, who just can't get enough. So it shows us that with the proper training, obedience training, and tons of love, these dogs can go into your homes. They can be one of the best dogs that you will ever have. Can we say that on some level, he has forgotten that horrible first year?
Absolutely.
And He's having a beautiful life and intends on having a very long and happy life?
We call it now that he's a little fat boy retired. He goes to work with me sometimes, but he just gets to live life now and just be a dog.
So he has now become the Cape Crusader for Cat Depot for disabled cats.
This is Mighty Lou, a sort of superhero for infirm felines. His status and title were not just ceremonial, he earned them from the time he was rescued.
Lou was dragging his back legs, and they thought he'd been hit by a car. We rushed him off to emergency, only to find out that he was an untreated diabetic cat.
Oh my.
So he had lost the use of his back legs.
The condition known as feline diabetic neuropathy caused Lou's hind legs to atrophy.
Once we found out that Lou was diabetic, he was put on insulin, given proper food and care, but he still dragged himself around the shelter.
Things were not looking bright for Lou. That is, until his foster mom, Nancy Colby, took him in.
He was really bad off. I purposed to turn him around. So I had my friend of it acupuncture him, which helped a little bit with his neuropathy. I was regimented with his food, regimented with his insulin, and as a result, he's now off insulin and he's pain-free.
It didn't take long for Lou to earn a permanent place in Nancy's heart and home. Lou has become quite the celebrity, appearing on TV and radio programs as well as making other personal appearances around our community. All this to raise the awareness of cats who are just like him.
So Mighty Lou blogs every day, and he tells everybody on our website about other cats that are like him. And he has his own program and campaign called Friends Like Me. And it's for kids and cats, I call them kids, sorry about that,
That's
cats,
okay.
who are found left behind or on the street or abandoned, who need special care, who may be underweight, overweight, diabetic, have a broken leg, or just simply need somebody to help them.
So I take him absolutely everywhere. With his cape on, he has a whole wardrobe of capes, and he speaks to people through me. To adopt diabetic cats, to fund special needs cats, and to just fund cats in general, but specifically special needs, because those are the ones that get overlooked.
Still ahead on Animal Outtakes.
I said, there's got to be something I can do for this little guy.
And he fit in the palms of your hands at that point.
Yeah, he was tiny.
How a piglet took the internet by storm with just a small set of wheels. And later,
Just shocked that someone could do something like that to a dog.
a horrifying case of animal cruelty. A dog shot and tied up, left to die. Meet this true survivor who is making an amazing comeback.
For thousands of years, we've been humans' best friend. You've been through a lot, and we've been right there with you. A dog is part of the family, a confidant, and a friend who always knows how to get into your heart. So what happens to our beloved companions when we can no longer care for them? This is why we've created Dante's Den, an innovative, state-of-the-art facility that will provide care for up to 100 dogs.
Dante's Den is a community for joyful dogs.
Millions of Americans face uncertainty when planning for the future of beloved pets who may well outlive them. Dante's Den is a charitable organization, so in whatever capacity you can, please lend your support so that we may continue this most wonderful work.
Dante and I would like to thank you for watching and for also opening up your hearts to our wonderful community of joyful dogs.
Learn about the many ways you could become involved by visiting dantesden.org.
All right, buddy, let's go.
Life changed for veterinarian Len Lucera nearly 2 years ago after an exam on a newborn piglet.
He was under a pound, so he was probably about the size of his little duck friend. He was brought into the clinic where I was working to be euthanized because he didn't have back legs and the owner wasn't able to care for him.
After examining him, Dr. Lucero determined that other than the issues with his back legs, the pig was in perfect health. So Len adopted the pig and gave him a home.
Nobody was in his corner, so I was his voice, and I spoke for him. So, and he's paid us back.
In fact, it only took a couple of weeks before this pig, dubbed Chris P. Bacon, became an internet sensation.
I said, there's got to be something I can do for this little guy.
And he fit in the palms of your hand
Oh,
at that point.
yeah, he was tiny. And when he was walking around, he was actually raising his butt off the air and taking a couple steps and then fall down. I said, there's got to be something. So I looked into some wheelchairs for dogs. But they're all big. Therefore, even one for a small dachshund is way too big for him at that time. So I said, I'm going to make it out of K'NEX.
Len took video of Chris testing out his new wheels and posted it on YouTube, and it went viral. To date, this video has more than 2 million views and counting. These days, Chris is sporting a new, larger set of wheels, more fit to his growing body.
He's a year and a half.
He's a year and a half. What health is he showing at this point?
Oh,
Good health?
Oh, yeah, he is progressing great. Some of the key things that we look at, especially in pigs, is how's their appetite. That's the first thing that goes. When a pig gets sick, they stop eating. And a pig that's not eating, that's
a problem.
It's strange. Yeah, it's definitely odd. So we watch him closely, and he's just done so well.
What is his average day?
Oh, well, usually I wake up first. He's real quiet, and the second he hears footsteps, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry. So, he gets fed before anybody gets coffee.
Well, that's really something, isn't it?
Yeah, if you don't feed him first, you don't enjoy your coffee. So.
And what do you feed him?
He eats a miniature horse and pony pellet. It's something that's high in fiber, and this way, try and keep his weight down. The only thing he gets aside from that is occasional grapes. I lead on that he gets a lot more grapes than he actually gets, but he just loves them so much.
Where does he sleep?
He has his own bed.
Of course.
Yeah, we've tried letting him sleep with us, but his hooves hurt.
Really? Does he kind of kick you a little bit?
And his fur is pokey. So, no, he can have his own. Yeah. So this way he gets his own bed, and he's got his blankets, his favorite stuff that he sleeps with. So
he does not know that he's handicapped, does he?
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't even know he's a pig. Oh. So for him, he's just one of the family.
How has he inspired you as well as others?
Oh, geez, he has just been. He's actually opened my eyes to a lot of things that typically you would walk by without noticing. Just how much happiness animals bring to everybody.
So if somebody does have a pet that is either deformed by birth, such as Chris was, or becomes paralyzed, what would you say to them? Bring them to their vet?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
But not for euthanasia.
Right, to get assessed. Because a lot of times they may have an abnormality, born with an abnormality, but it's not a lethal abnormality. It's something that they can live with. We do all that we can, and that's really doing right by the animal, and I think that's just the best thing ever.
If you want to learn more about Chris P. Bacon, you can find all his adventures online at chrispbacon.org. In the animal world, the chimpanzee is our closest relative, sharing 98% of our genetic makeup. Do they get the same diseases we do?
Everything, their DNA is so close to us that colds, flus, things like that, they pick up very easily.
So you, in turn, as you administer to them, have to be very, very careful.
Yes,
I would imagine if you have a cold or something like that, you kind of stay away.
We do, and in fact, if we stay home, I ask the care staff that take care of them if they are sick. But if they're feeling better but not contagious, we still wear masks and gloves if we're preparing food and doing anything to help them.
Patty Reagan, the director of the Center for Great Apes in Wauchula, Florida, says a cold isn't the only human illness her caregivers are dealing with. They're also treating a few primates who suffer from diabetes. And then there's another very special ape who calls the center home. You have some special needs here also, don't you?
We have a little chimpanzee that came out of Hollywood. He was sent to us when he was 2, and he had cerebral palsy. And he presents very much like a human with CP has. It's not a disease, it's a condition from a lack of oxygen during the birth process. He's a bright boy, but he has some physical handicaps.
Is that Knuckles?
That's Knuckles, yes.
Knuckles had problems with his vision, motor skills, and muscle control, and early testing didn't leave much hope for improvement. But Knuckles exceeded expectations and was even able to live with other apes for a short time.
He actually cannot live with chimps anymore. He did when he was little, but as he's older and they're much bigger and stronger, it would not be safe for him. So he does interact with several chimpanzees here. He's known through the mesh, and he loves that. And then our care staff, we don't actually handle the apes here because they're all quite big, and they've come to us out of situations where they became too large or too dangerous for people to be around. But Knuckles still does get physical therapy every day.
Coming up on Animal Outtakes.
He, was tied to the railroad tracks after being shot twice and, left for dead.
Meet this true survivor whose story made national headlines. We'll take you along on her road to recovery next.
Critical Vet Care is guided by the belief that companion animals deserve state-of-the-art medical care and a kind and comforting environment. The courage of our patients, the loyalty of their human families, and the devotion of our referral veterinarians inspire our vision. It is sustained by the contributions of our compassionate, knowledgeable, and dedicated staff, and built upon a strong tradition of providing excellent health care for animals. To learn more, visit us online at www.criticalvetcare.com.
And now it's time for the furry and famous Animal Outtakes VIP.
Come on. Well, that was easy. Yeah. Well, today we're in Bradenton, Florida at Motorworks Brewing, and we happen to be in our beer garden. It's, by the way, the largest beer garden in the state of Florida. We actually saw her picture online, but it really kind of resembled a mugshot. And so as much as it was a cute Jack, I wanted to go see the dog. So when we got there, we fell in love with her. And she comes to work every day, and she's a trooper. She comes in and knows exactly where she's supposed to go, and she goes around, says hello. But this one and I have particularly bonded. So she's with her mother pretty much all day when she isn't with her office mate, Reddy, the Italian miniature Italian Greyhound.
The owner, Denise, her dog, and Reddy, they are office mates. They come to work with us every day, and they play together around the brewery and the beer garden up in the office. I saw a picture of him online. I fell in love. He's 9 years old. He'll be 10 in March. And he's actually considered a red Italian Greyhound. He is just my sweet pea. A couple years ago, we had an accident playing disc golf. Unfortunately, he shattered his little leg. We tried to do surgery to correct it. His little bones are so tiny, they couldn't really put him back together at that point. So they did have to amputate, but he has made a miraculous recovery. He still has his same personality, same heart. He still jumps right up into my arms, runs around and plays, enjoys life thoroughly.
There are certain times during the day when we bring her down and let her visit with the guests.
They keep everyone on the staff just in high spirits and happy. It's just kind of relaxing to have them there for us throughout the day.
We believe that animals just bring a calming effect and kind of bring us all back to reality at times. She is just our everything as far as keeping us smiling, and it's a good reminder of what we have and how far she's come in coming from a shelter to owning a brewery. And so it's really a neat thing, and we wish that for every animal.
Dogs are the best, and they are there for you just as much as you're there for them.
Cabela is a true survivor. Her story made headlines across the country. In March of 2015, police officers in Tampa, Florida found this pit bull mix shot twice and tied to railroad tracks, left to die. They rushed her to a local veterinarian emergency hospital for treatment. Dr. Davison, you were here the night that Cabela came in. What were your thoughts? What did you think?
Just shocked that someone could do something like that to a dog. Just completely helpless animal. And the level of cruelty that she endured was just unbelievable.
Cabela's injuries were so severe, the on-call veterinarians initially believed she would need to have her leg amputated. That's when they called in veterinarian surgeon Dr. Colby Burns to get her opinion on the situation.
Told me that Cabela had been shot in her leg and that it looked like she probably needed her leg amputated. Once I saw the x-rays, and although the bones were shattered pretty badly, I thought that we could fix it, certainly give her a chance to save her leg.
But first, she had to make sure Cabela could still feel her leg. That's when she says this dog surprised her.
From the moment that I actually met her, even though, she was in pretty bad shape, she licked me in my face. I kid you not, her leg was, 2 to 3 times its size and literally just dangling there. And I had to take a hemostat to squeeze her toes to basically make sure that she feels it, much like she did there. And so it's not something that you can be gentle on. And complete stranger coming in and squeezing on her skin. And she pulled it away, even though it was fractured. She pulled it away and looked at me and literally licked me. And from the get-go, it was...
She is a sweetie. Luckily for Cabela, Dr. Burns had the perfect implant for her injury.
So what I did is I used a device called an interlocking nail. And what this is it's basically a rod, a stainless steel rod that has a couple of different bolts. This is actually the same configuration of implant that Cabela has in her leg. It has 1 bolt in the bottom and 2 bolts in the top. And what that does is it prevents it from moving from side to side, as well as compressing or folding upon itself. So the elbow is right here. So this piece is in that small fragment of bone that was left. So just like this. The reason that this worked so well is because I didn't have to reconfigure any of those bone fragments. I'm going to rely completely on this implant and the little bone that she has left, as well as her age and her will to actually heal and survive. This leg could have easily been taken off and she could have been a 3-legged dog, but with her will and everyone else's support, we've been able to give her an opportunity to at least let this leg heal.
I think that Cabela really showed you that she wanted to live.
She absolutely did. So not only did she show us that night, but she's shown us every single day since.
Tampa police have made 4 arrests in Cabela's case, including 2 juveniles. They allege she was originally purchased to be a fighting dog, but when she wouldn't fight, her owners convinced the 2 teens to get rid of her. As for Cabela, A month after surgery, she's recovering well. Dr. Burns says she has a few more months to go before she's completely healed and can find a new home. Do you think she will remember the trauma, or does she have the ability to put it out of her mind and move on with life?
I think that she's already put it out of her mind and is moving on with life. It's way back, it's way beyond anything that she even remotely thinks about. You know, she wags her tail and comes to the front to greet us. She, you know, loves the attention, and as you can tell how sweet she is with an absolute, you know, complete stranger. She has no fear or aggression towards her past life, so I think that she is well beyond the misery that she had before.
Are you going to be able to let her go?
I think physically we'll be able to let her go, but emotionally I think that she's not only touched my life in a significant way, but certainly has touched many other lives. So, and it goes down to just, I think, the spirit, you know, the spirit of survival.
I just want her to find a loving home. She deserves to belong to a family that will love her and protect her and just spoil her rotten for the rest of her life.
If you're looking for more puppy love, stay with us. We'll be right back. That's it for this episode of Animal Outtakes. We hope these strong and bold animals have shown what it means to be a survivor. Join us again for another outstanding animal adventure. We'll see you then.
About Cat Depot. She has a loud voice.
She gave me a big meow there.
When I heard about Cat Depot and the mission here and what they were trying to accomplish,